50% of your home. It just doesn't make sense. And when you have a huge population of people who cannot return, how do you ever expect there to be peace with that entity?
Okay, any more questions?
I just want to know, what is like a realistic aim? Because we have this concept all the time, are we wrong by all this, whatever. But what is the realistic aim for, like, the end result that we want? Because you know how you say that certain comes to the West Bank and if you personally want to get somewhere, or where did they go?
Well, they're there illegally. So if we are people that believe in international law, which many don't, many do, surely we should say this is within the framework of international law, that these people have no right to occupy the land. But also in terms of what do we want realistically, all people to have their right of return, which is also within international law, people have the right to return.
So would that mean that the settlers have to go back
wherever they came from?
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. It's within international law. The UN says that. Human Rights Watch says that. The US government even admits that these are illegal settlements. This shenanigans with Obama talking about 67 borders and then saying with mutually agreed land swaps. What's mutually agreed about an illegal settlement? Realistically, away from pretty words, what is mutually agreed? Nothing mutually agreed about it. And it gives the impression that Palestinians will have bits of Israel. As if. So I think the main aim is the changing of the rhetoric and the definitions which are attached to these things. That's vital.
There are over 6 million refugees in Lebanon, in the Palestinian refugees. All those refugees are stateless. All those people are put down as stateless. The state of the refugee camps look temporary. They just, the state of living, the living conditions look temporary. And that's the reason why they don't have a passport, because they're still temporary residents, if you want to put it like that. That's why they get their electricity cut off at random times of the day, nearly every single day. That's why their water supply gets cut off. I mean, those people still have the keys to their homes in Jaffa, in Haifa, in Nazareth. So, you know, I think what raises suspicion to me is, why are you not letting these people back? Are you scared of the population, of the Palestinians, to dominate the Israeli Jewish population? Are we looking at maybe Jerusalem being at risk here? I mean, it's really, there's a lot of things that are unanswered, a lot of questions that are unanswered, before we answer the question about what's the solution between Jews that are already there. Because they shouldn't have ran before they walked.
I think a lot of people are talking about the two-state solution, but basically a lot of Palestinians want a one-state solution. It's too late. If you look at the map of Palestine, even if you look at the map of Palestine from '67, and you look at Palestine now, I screamed when I saw what is left. They are building all over it. They have gone to the point now where I don't think a two-state solution is possible. I think it just has to be a one state, one man, one vote. Because, and if you do have a two-state solution, and you know, you say that it's over there, Palestinians are there, they will do what they tried to do in South Africa, which is to have bantu lands, where the people are living basically on dry land, and then the Israelis will be living on, you know, the Jewish people will be living on the better property. It's not going to work out like that. You decided to go there, you've built on that now, so everybody who lives in that land should have the exact same right. And they keep saying that they don't want the comparison between South Africa and Israel, but face facts, because they're saying, you know, to draw that comparison, you're belittling what black people went through in South Africa. I've been to South Africa quite a few times, trust me, the South Africans are alright with that comparison. They don't mind it at all. Because they can see, what is that if it's not an apartheid state? We have one road for somebody, one road for another. These people have to have passes to go there. Other people can move freely. Other people have water. Other people don't. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I just think the way that everything is reported, what you can do practically, you can complain about the way that these things are reported on the news. you know, for a start, the Arab-Israeli conflict. This is not a conflict. A conflict has two sides. This doesn't have two sides. This is the domination of one group of people by another group of people. And it really makes me sick, the way that they will be so happy to constantly condemn somebody who flies a plane into a building in the name of religion. Yes, you should condemn that. But no one's condemning this. This is what other people are doing in the name of religion. Where's the equality?
We should also ask the British government, ask ourselves about the British government here and their role in distorting peace between Palestinians or Israelis and Palestinians, because they just arrested Sheikh Salah a couple of days ago. He's a Palestinian living in occupied territories. So we still don't have a reason why he was arrested. He didn't even know he was going to be arrested. He didn't even know he had a ban on him. So, you know, like, there's a lot of influence from the British government, there's a lot of influence from the American government, but in this case, in Sheikh Salah's case, you know, how are we supposed to, you know, kind of bring peace to the table when you're silencing and censoring the Palestinians who are living under Israeli occupation in the occupied territories?
And you can write to your MP about that. You can complain to your local MP about the arrest of this man, because this is just how unequal it is. That British law, like you said, is protecting people, because when British activists over here tried to raise arrest warrants for the people who were responsible for the war crimes in the Gaza war, dropping white phosphorus on people, we had judges and they had arrest warrants for these people. What they did was try to change a law to defend them. How does this make sense? These are the people who are supposed to represent us. So we should be complaining about that kind of thing. And, you know, complaining about the flotilla. Just yesterday, Greece had stopped the flotilla, the US boat to Gaza. I mean, how outrageous. I mean, when we've all finished here, I'm going down to Holland Park to the Greek embassy. There's a demo on there now for people to raise their objection to that. One minute you're saying Palestinians are violent, they're aggressors, they're whatever, and when Palestinians are doing things like BDS, which is non-violent, a flotilla is non-violent, why on earth are you stopping boats bringing letters of hope to people of Gaza? What is this?
Sorry.
No.
Okay, is there any more questions? Your question,
it's a bit of a naive question, that I'm learning about Palestine, to be honest, that's why I came in today. What motivates the Israelis? Why do they want to close in on the Palestinian land? Why can't they respect the land that, you know, that they have, that they live in? Why do you feel that they have to conquer and dominate what serves it up?
I think one word is really the best word to use to describe it, is supremacy. I think if you are so convinced from a very young age of the supremacy of your humanity over others, but particularly over this group of, and that supremacy is purposely encouraged for this colonial movement to have legs. And I think what shows us that the colonial movement is wavering and not as strong as it has been is the fact that they introduced the grandfather clause. Because that is really interesting to me, the fact that they're saying, okay, well, before it was one parent is Jewish, well, before it's both parents, now it's one parent, and now it's one grandparent. That's like, please come, please come. Because also the other thing is that they are outnumbered, and Palestinians are having kids very quickly, and the population is increasing. So they are doing whatever they can to maintain this abnormal and unnatural status quo of expansion. It's that they want to maintain it and at the same time expand it. So it's supremacy. It's believing that your humanity is greater than another person, and that you have that right, because you are holy people. You are holy chosen people, and that's, I don't think any human being is chosen. I think we are all just as human as each other. You know?
Any more questions?
Is there anything that you want to say that you didn't say in the film?
I think for me, the film, I mean, a lot of people, when I first came back, were asking me what was it like over there. Before I say I'm British, I say I'm African. That's where I grew up. And going there, and most of the keeping vouch for that, I didn't feel as comfortable as I was in 48, but I felt more comfortable in the West Bank, in places like like Balata, and stuff like that, because to me it felt like I was at home. The people there were just like my people in Africa, in Ghana, or where I used to live in Tanzania. But yeah, they were asking me like, what was my experiences, and it's really hard for me to explain. And really, my best explanation was through this film. In terms of the hardest things for me when I was cutting this film was probably Hebron, because there was a lot of stuff which, you know, was said in Hebron that I didn't even have a chance to put in there. It was so heart-wrenching, you know, when Hesham was talking about, you know, his wife being beaten, his dad. I just can't believe people that claim to be the chosen people that can actually set an example. If you claim to be chosen people, you should kind of like set an example. You know what I mean? It's like your older brother. You know what I mean? You know, you're the older brother, so you should set an example of what is right and what is wrong. And there's nothing right in what I saw in Hebron, you know, in places like Delaney. And I mean, my best explanation of my trip in the West Bank is still.
Can I ask another question? I think the question was a really strong point, and I think that the fact that the media controlling what's put out there is really interesting how people experience the world. And I think your film is really powerful, and I don't think it's a show, because I think a lot of people, if they knew what was really going on, they wouldn't feel this outside.
We are the
Especially in
media.
America.
Sorry?
That we are the media.
Well, that's a very interesting thing to say, right? Because we've been to Palestine before, we made a documentary there as well. And on the plane, they thought, two Israelis were sitting next to me, they thought I was Israeli. Actually, one of them was from Europe, one of them was from South America. They talked to me in Hebrew. And then they realized I wasn't Jewish. And when they realized I was going to Palestine, they warned me. They said, be careful, they might kill you. And I was like, I just saw Facebook pictures from her in bars in Ramallah, enjoying herself. And I just think that if we did all visit Palestine, not that that's practical, but you know, if we did, we could beat the media by posting these things on Facebook, by spreading the word that this place isn't full of monsters. And I think that is one way of being the media.
Continuing with this point about social media, you know, the media, how Twitter and Facebook help, and then create protests against the government. How can this be significant for Palestine? So how can you see them being able to do the same thing and raise awareness worldwide? Do you feel that there's like some kind of gap that's preventing them?
Well, it happened on the 15th of May, and 21 people were murdered in cold blood by the IDF. It happened, and it does happen, and the thing that's preventing them is the IDF shooting them.
And also, another thing, they had a third intifada. They had an app, and it was on, you could buy it for your iPhone, so that activists could get together and know where meetings were going to be, know where demonstrations were going to be. Israel wrote to Apple and had it removed.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm never buying another thing from Apple again. It's outrageous. Everything they try to do that's non-violent, they're prevented from doing it.
Well, how practical is that for you and for us? Like, how, you know, we'll run out of things to buy. Like, because they, you know, they